Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada Gurave sarvalokanam Bhishaje bhavaroginam Nidhaye sarvavidyanam Dakshinamurtaye namaha Ishvaro gururatmeti Murti bheda vibhagine Vyomavat vyapta dehaya Dakshinamurtaye namaha Sadashiva samarambham Shankaracharya madhyamam Asmadacharya paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Sakshat Kritam Dayanandam Paramarthasvarupinam Tattvajnana Prashastaram Pranatosmi Parampadam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Rityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketa Secha Second chapter, Tritiyavali, sixth mantra. Let us chant. Indriyanam pratak bhavam
Indriyanam pratak bhavam
Dayastamayochayat
Udhayastamayauchayat
Pratagutpadyamananam
पृथग्पद्यमानानां
Matva dhiro na shochati.
मत्वा धीरो न शोचति.
In the last class we saw this mantra. Indriyanam pratak bhavam Shotradinam Indriyanam pratak bhavam asti. Indriyanam pratak bhavam asti. Pratak utpadyamananam, that which have separate origination, and they are udayastamayo, they rise, the waking state, they are active, and they are inactive or they go to sleep in the sushupti avastha. So udayastamayo, therefore they are pratak bhavam, separate, distinct from what? Atma. So therefore matva dhiraha nashochati iti. What is Atma? Why it is distinct from Atma? Atma is Nityah, Ekah, Satyah, Buddha, Mukta Swarupaha, Atma. Whereas Indriyas, it has got its origin, it rises and falls. Udayaha, Tama, Udaya, Udayastamayav, Udayastamayav. It rises and falls. There is a birth and there is a destruction. So Janma Marana. Janma cha asti, Maranam cha asti. Whereas Atma is Avyaya Atma, Avikriyaha Atma. Therefore, Pratak Bhavam distinct. Iti we saw. Therefore, Nitya Eka Svabhasya Atmanaha Avyabhicharat. Avyabhicharat. Therefore, Atma cannot be the Karanam for Shoka. Shoka Karana Karanatva Anupapattehe iti. Indriyas only can be the Karanam for Shoka because it is born and it is gone. Atma is neither born, neither gone. It is there all the time. It is Avyaya Atma, Avikriyaha Atma. Doesn't undergo any change, doesn't undergo any Vikara, Shad Bhava, Rahitaha. Therefore, that which changes only can be the cause for Shoka. Therefore, Avyabhichara Atma cannot be the cause for Shoka. That which changes only can be the cause for Shoka. Atma doesn't undergo any change. Nitya Eka Svabhasya. Bhashyakara says, the Vashyam you can see, Atmanaha Nitya Eka Svabhasya Avyabhicharat Shoka Anupapattihi. Shoka Karana Karanatva Anupapattihi. Atma doesn't have the status of being a cause for Shoka Anupapattihi. Therefore, Shoka Karanatva Anupapattihi is Indriyas. Indriya only, Indriyas, Indriyani only can be the cause for Shoka. Shoka, therefore, because it is Vyabhichara. That is the Hetu. Avyabhicharat Atmanaha Shoka Karanatva Anupapattihi. Vyabhicharat Shoka Karanatva Upapattihi Indriyani. And also the other, the Shrutyantarmapi Vadati Tarati Shokam Atmavit iti. Then the next mantra starts. The next mantra, it is similar to the mantra what we saw in the first Adhyaya. We will read the Sangati and then see the mantra. Yasmat Atmanaha
Yasmadātmanah
Indriyanam
Indriyanām
Pratak Bhavaha Uktaha
Pratambhāvah uktah
Na Asau
na asau
Bhagihi Adigantavyaha
bhagi adhikam tavyah
Yasmat Pratyagatma
yasmāt pratyagatmā
Saha Sarvasya
saha sarvasya
Tat Katam iti Uchyate.
tat katham iti uchyate.
Indriyanam Pratak Bhavaha Uktaha. Indriyas are distinct or different. It is Uktaha where Kasmin Mantre, Purva Mantre, in the preceding mantra, sixth mantra, what we saw just now. Indriyanam Pratak Bhavam. Indriyas are Pratak, they are distinct. Distinct from what? Distinct from Atma. Why it is distinct from Atma? Yasmat referring to the reason stated above. Atma is Nitya Eka Swabhava Atma, Avyabhichara Atma, whereas Indriyani, they are Vyabhichara, they are Anitya, and it is not Eka Swabhava, many are the Indriyas. Therefore, Shoka Karanatva, Anupapatti iti Visa. Therefore, Yasmat Karanat or Yasmat Atmanaha compared to Atma, Panchami. Compared to Atma, Indriyas are Pratak Bhavaha Uttaha. There is a clean dissimilarity between the Indriyas and the Atma for the reasons stated above. Therefore, because it is distinct, Indriyas are distinct from Atma. Therefore, Atma, Aso Atma, na bagihi adigantavyaha. Indriyas, the sense organs, they are meant for knowing the sense objects. Where are the sense objects? They are outside. They are outside. Therefore, Indriyas have to go outside to catch the sense object, to perceive the sense objects. Therefore, bagihi gantavyani, Indriyani. What about Atma? Atma, since it is distinct from Indriyas, therefore, Aso Atma na bagihi adigantavyaha. There are no, it is not to be object, it is not one of the object. Therefore, it is not to be objectified as one of the objects of the world. Na bagihi adigantavyaha, not should be understood. It cannot be understood as one more object of the world. Adigantavyaha means objectification. Cannot be objectified, na adigantavyaha, because Atma is not an object. Therefore, bagihi na adigantavyaha iti. It cannot be known outside. Bagihi is outside. It cannot be known outside means it cannot be known as one more object. It means Atma is not available for objectification. If it is not available for objectification, it means it is not one of the object. It means it doesn't have, it is not there outside. It doesn't have separate existence as one of the object in the outside world. Therefore, where is this Atma? Yasvat pratyekhatma saha sarvasya. Therefore, that the Atma, saha Atma, must be sarvasya, pratyekhatma. It must be the Atma of everyone. So, because Atma bagihi na adigantavyaha, therefore, this Atma must be pratyekatma. Pratyak Atma. It is the pratyak. Pratyak means inside, inner. It is pratyak Atma saha sarvasya. Sarvasya pratyak Atma. It must be the Atma of everyone. It is antaryami. It is Atma. It is the Atma of everyone. Therefore, it doesn't have to be reached in time. It doesn't have to be reached in place. It doesn't have properties like the Vishayas, which Indriyas only can know. So, therefore, Atma is Pratyekatma. It is the inner self, the Atma. So, if Atma is Pratyak, then that Atma must be available all the time, in all the avastha. The Atma continue in Jagrat avastha, Swapna avastha, Sushupti avastha. The body changes, the Indriyas also change in terms of its function, it changes. and also it arises and it goes to sleep, arises in the Jagrata Avastha, goes to sleep in the Sushupti Avastha. But Atma as a Sakshi, as a witness, it is there in all the Avastha, therefore it is distinct Avastha Traya Sakshi. Panchakosha Atitaha San Yaha Tishtati Saha Atma Sarvasya Pratyahatma Iti. Therefore, Atma is Pratyagatma, then what about the Indriyas, etc.? They are all Anatma. They are all Anatma. Panchakoshas are Anatma. Shariratrayam is Anatma. This Prapancha, this Jagat which is created out of this Panchamahabhuta, they are Anatma. So, therefore, here Atma, Anatma, the Viveka, the Panchakosha Viveka is presented. In this, the following shloka, you will see the Viveka between Atma and Anatma is presented. Atma as Pratyagatma, negating Anatma as Pratyagatma, it is further established. What is negatable? What is negatable must be Bhagya Vishaya. Bhagya, it must be outside. That which cannot be negated is Pratyagatma, this Antaratma. So, when we say negation, negation comes when there is a process of the Vichara, the Viveka Vichara. So, here it is, as we saw before, the Drugdrishya Viveka, the Sharirattari Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka. Here, the Viveka is being done. Tat Katamiti Uchyate, in this mantra, we will read the mantra and you will see this mantra is almost the same, or as it is repeated. It is a repetition of the mantra what we have seen in the first chapter. Now, Atma Pratyagatma, it is distinct. Tat Katamiti Uchyate, how it is being said in the following mantra. We will read. Indriyebhyah param manaha.
Indriyebhyah param manaha.
Manasas sattvam
Manasasattvamuttamam.
Sattva dadhimahanatma.
Sattva dadhimahanatma.
Nahato vyaktamuttamam.
Mahato vyaktamuttamam.
Manaha param bhavati. Manaha, mind is param, it is greater. Mind is greater, it is superior compared to what? Indriyebhyaha Panchami. Indriyebhyaha manaha param bhavati. Then manasaha sattvam. Sattvam referring to the buddhi. Sattvam means antakranam. Here it is, you can take it as buddhi. Buddhi is uttamam compared to the mind. Sattvat dadi mahan atma. Sattvan, that is buddhyaha, compared to the buddhi, this atma is mahan, greater, and magataha avyaktam uttamam. Magataha avyaktam uttamam. Here this Mahanatma, it is taken as Mahat. We will see what we have seen before. It's not something new. So Sattvadadi Mahanatma, here it is said that, this Mahan Atma, it is Mahat. It is Mahat. Mahan Atma is individual. The Atma from the standpoint of the individual, that is Atma here, and compared to that Magataha Avyaktam Uttamam. Compared to the mind, the intellect is greater. Sattvadadi Mahanatma compared to the individual intellect is this Samashti Buddhi, that is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is greater. Magataha Avyaktam Uttamam. Compared to this Hiranyagarbha, this Avyaktam is this Maya. Maya is greater. So the comparison is being done starting from Indriya up to the Avyakta Maya. Indriyebhya param manaha, number 1. Manasaha sattvam is intellect, uttamam, buddhi. Sattvadadi mahanatma, compared to the intellect, this here mahanatma, it's not, atma is individual, but the word mahan is there. Therefore, it is samashti buddhi. We have to take it as samashti buddhi. Mahanatma, here atma is, it is samashti buddhi. Here atma is not Sachidananda atma. Sattva is the individual buddhi. Mahanatma is total buddhi. Sattvam meaning antakaranam, that is buddhi. Already manas is mentioned, therefore again the word sattvam, because it is mentioned there, that the meaning of the sattvam should be taken as the buddhi, the intellect. This is at the individual level. Compared to the mind, manasaha, sattvam, the individual intellect. Compared to the individual mind, the individual intellect. Because why intellect is uttamam? Because the intellect only does the adhyavasaya, it only does the job of decision. Sankalpa vikalpatmaka manaha, whereas buddhi is nishchayatmika buddhi. So compared to the mind, sattvam, that is the buddhi, is uttamam. Compared to this buddhi, that is the individual buddhi, atma is greater. Atma is individual. Atma here, it is meaning the individual intellect. Atma meaning this individual intellect. But Mahanatma, when you say Sattvat Mahanatma, it says, it becomes Samashti Buddhi, Hiranyagarbha. So, Sattvat Adi Mahanatma, and compared to the Samashti Buddhi, this Magat is Uttamam. The Magat, compared to the Magataha Avyaktam is Uttamam. Compared to the Samashti Buddhi, this Avyakta Maya, which is the cause for even for this Samashti Buddhi, that is Uttamam. So, why Uttamam? Why Uttamam? Say in what terms, by what it is considered to be Uttamam? When there is comparison and you say it is Uttamam, it is greater. The Uttamam here, as we saw before, it is in terms of this subtlety and all pervasiveness. Sukshmatva, then this Vyapakatva. Vyapakatva Drishtya Uttamam iti. Now, this mantra is similar to, as I said in the first chapter, third section. That is, Bhashyakara doesn't elaborate this mantra. Just 2 lines only, this Bhashyam. So we have to see the mantra in the first chapter, third section. That section only we saw the imagery of the Ratha imagery, chariot. You can see this mantra. You have to recollect this mantra, understand this mantra, then only this mantra will be clear. Indriyebhyah parahirtaha artebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhihi buddhiratma mahan paraha. The same idea only is presented in this the mantra what we are saying in a slightly different way. Now let us recall what this mantra means. Indriyebhya, here also you can see Panchami Indriyebhyaha arthaha paraha. Compared to the Indriya arthaha, that is Indriya arthaha, that Vishayaha is paraha, greater. This we saw, this is generally a confusing thing. How can you say that artha, Indriya, Vishaya are greater than Indriyas? Bhashyakara clearly explained that what is this arthaha? Arthaha is the sense objects. How can you say sense objects are greater than sense organs? And the word arthaha has been explained by the Bhashyakara here. Arthaha means that the cause of the artha. Artha means just the substance, the Vishaya. The Vishaya, what we perceive, it is not that Vishaya really we perceive. What we perceive only is the property of the Vishaya, property of an object. When we perceive an object, it is not really the object we perceive. What we perceive is only the properties of the object. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Every object is made of these 5 properties. So what we perceive is only this property. We perceive only the Visheshana, the adjective, Visheshana of the object. Object itself doesn't exist. The object, really speaking, really doesn't exist. It exists in the form of these 5 properties. Therefore, only it is available for the Indriya. So, therefore, when you see the color or the form of the object, when you see an object, what you really see using your Chakshurendriya, you see only the form or the color of the object. Similarly, when you hear, what you hear, you don't hear the object. What you are hearing is only the property, the Shabda guna of the object. Similarly, when you touch, what you touch is the Sparsha guna of the object. Similarly, in terms of taste also is a property. You cannot really taste the object. What you taste is the taste property of the object. Therefore, this Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, these are all the nothing but the Pancha Mahabhuta. These are nothing but the Pancha Mahabhuta which manifest in the form of the Stula Bhuta. This Pancha Mahabhuta, that is Sukshma Bhuta, alone manifests in the form of this Pancha Mahabhuta. The Sukshma Bhuta alone have this property, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Therefore, when we say Shabda is nothing but the Sukshma Akasha, which expresses as Shabda Guna in the Stula Akasha. Similarly, Rupa Guna. The Rupa Guna, it is nothing but, it is that Rupa is as it belongs to as property to the Agni. Therefore, the Sukshma Agni alone manifests in the form of the Stula Agni. And it has the property Guna, the Sukshma Agni. That alone is perceived by the Indriya. Therefore, the 5 gunas are nothing but the Sukshma Bhutas only. The 5 gunas are nothing but the Sukshma gunas. Out of this, the five gunas are nothing but Sukshma Bhutani. The Sukshma Bhutani alone are the cause for the Indriyas. So, Artha, taking the meaning of the Artha as Sukshma Bhuta, which alone manifests in the form of Pancha Guna in Stula Bhutas, and out of this Sukshma Bhuta only Indriyas have come. Therefore, comparing to Indriya, Arthaha, that referring to the karanam of the indriya, that is greater. Indriyas are stulani, and they can perceive only indriya artha which are stula. But here artha referring to the sukshma bhuta out of which the arthas are made, the indriya vishayas are made. Therefore, compared to indriya, this arthaha, which is the sukshma bhutas, are greater. Out of this sukshma bhuta, this sukshma bhuta, that is shabda sparsha rupa rasa gunaka, this bhuta, akasha, vayu, etc., those bhutas are greater. These indriyas are nothing but the product of this akasha, vayu, agnihi, apaha, prithvi. Now, compared to those artha, that is sukshma bhuta, the manas is greater. Why manas is greater? Here also the mana referring to the manas referring to that from which it has come, referring to the cause, not really the mana. All these things we have seen when we read this Bhashyam. Here, the manas referring to its karanam. We have seen sense objects are subtler than the sense organs, because sense objects, here artha, it means referring to the cause, referring to the cause for the sense organs. Therefore, the sense objects are subtler, because cause is always subtle than the result, the karya. Therefore, these arthas are subtle. Then manas referring to the subtle elements which cause the mind, which cause the manas. Arthas are subtle elements which cause the sense organs, and manas are the subtle elements which cause the mind. Therefore, the subtle elements which cause the mind must be greater than the subtle elements which cause the indriyas. Comparing the karanam of the indriya and the mana, the subtle elements which cause the indriya, the subtle elements which cause the indriya, and the subtle elements which cause the mind, between them, the subtle elements which cause the mind must be greater. Therefore, artebhyascha param manaha iti. The mana in all this shloka, we should not take literally as manas, referring to that which cause the mind. Then manasastu para buddhihi, compared to the manas, buddhihi is para. Why it is para? Because buddhi does the job of this adhyavasaya, that decision, that clarity, the decisiveness, or this conclusiveness, adhyavasaya. Bhashyakara in this Bhashyam itself he says, buddhi shabda vachyam adhyavasayadi arambakam bhuta sukshmam. Here also the buddhi refers to those subtle elements which are the cause of buddhi. So compared to the subtle elements which are the cause of mana, the buddhi which is the subtle elements which cause the buddhi is greater. So buddhi is greater than buddhehe atma mahan paraha iti. So buddhehe atma is greater. Atma, here buddhehe atma is this, atma is mahan paraha. Atma referring to the mahat. Atma referring to the mahat, because mahat is more pervading, it is sukshmataram iti. So mahat is greater. Then next shloka, mahatah paramabhyaktam abhyaktat, as in this mantra it is stated. Similarly, compared to mahat, this abhyaktam is param, Compared to avyaktam, avyaktam is maya, magat is samashti buddhi. Compared to samashti buddhi, avyaktam, maya is greater, and compared to maya, the purusha referring to this atma, the brahma, which is paraha, and there is nothing greater than the purusha. Purushat param kinchit, purushat param kinchit na, sa kashta sa paragatihi. Sa paragatihi, referring to, that is the paragati, the highest purushartha, paragatihi, sa kashta, that is the end, that is the culmination. Iti, we saw this mantra. The same, the mantra you have to remember. You have to remember the meaning of this mantra to understand this mantra, because Bhashyakara doesn't deal with that. Already stated. So that which has been said, he will not deal. That is why he will say in the Bhashyam, Purvam Uktaha. So with this background, you understand this mantra. Now, if you see Indriyabhya Param Manaha, why we say Manas is greater than the Indriya, because of the reason stated before, that is referred the first chapter, the third valley, that mantra number 10 and 11. So compared to Indriya, sense organs, Mana is superior. Then compared to the mind, Sattva is, intellect is superior. Then compared to Sattva, this Magat is superior. Compared to Magat, this Avyaktam, the Maya, is greater. And the next shloka, Avyakta tu Paraf Purushaha, the same idea is presented. First we will read this Bhashyam, and then we will see that. Now let us read the Bhashyam, just a 2 lines Bhashyam. Indriyebhyah param manah ityadi.
Indriyebhyah param mana ityadi.
That's all, it doesn't say anything. Ityadi means already talked about. Where? Refer first chapter, 3rd section, 10th mantra. That's all. Ityadi, the meaning of the word ityadi is that Indriyebhyah param manaha doesn't give any explanation compared to the sense organs. Manaha, the mind, is superior, greater. Here, this Indriyebhya parayartaha artebhyascha param manaha iti, in that mantra was there. Compared to Indriya, arthas are greater. Compared to artha, mana is greater. That artha is not mentioned here. Therefore, directly comparing Indriya with the Manas is greater than the Indriya, the mantra says. So, Indriya, compared to Indriya, Artha is greater. Artha meaning that which are the cause for the Indriya. Artha referring to the Pancha Mahabhuta, the Stula Bhuta, the subtle elements, which are the cause for the Indriya. Indriyas are the product of the Pancha Mahabhuta. And Manas referring to that which caused the Manas, that is referring to the Pancha Mahabhuta, the subtle elements which caused the Manas. Therefore, compared to the Bhuta which created the sense organs, the subtle elements which caused the Manas is greater. Therefore, compared to the Indriyas, Manas is greater. I hope you can follow. It's not confusing. The mantra is 10th mantra, the chapter, first chapter. That is, if you read that, it is confusing, but we have seen with the Bhashyam very clearly. You have to refer that Bhashyam. So, comparing Indriya with the Manas. In between, Artha is not mentioned, that we have to bring in from the first chapter. So, Ityadi already been stated before, discussed before. Only that much Bhashyakara says here. We know Indriyebhyaha Artaha Paraha Artebhyascha Param Manaha iti. Then the next line. Arthanam iha
Arthanam iha
Indriya Samana Jatiyatvadi.
इंद्रिय सम्मान जातीयत्वादि
जातीयत्वात्, not जातीयत्वात्,
जातीयत्वात्
इंद्रिय ग्रहणेन एव ग्रहणम्,
इंद्रिय ग्रहणम्
इंद्रिय ग्रहणेन एव ग्रहणम्.
इंद्रिय ग्रहणेन एव ग्रहणम्.
Yes. So indriya grahanena, grahanam means by the mentioning, the mentioning of the indriya, the sense organ. Indriya grahanena eva arthanam iha grahanam. We have to bring in the artha. Artha is indriya artha. That is Bhashyakara referring to that mantra. Indriyebhyaha parahirtaha artebhyascha param manaha. By the mentioning of the indriya, we have to bring in the indriya artha. Indriya artha are greater than the indriya, and compared to indriya artha, manas is greater. So that's what he says here. Indriya graganena eva grahanam. What? This arthanam iga grahanam. There is inclusion. There is inclusion of artha in the very mentioning of the indriyas. Why? Indriya samana jatiyatvat. Because the indriya which are made, that belongs to the same category as that of the objects, or the objects, the indriya artha, the sense objects, they belong to the same category. They belong to the same category as that of the sense organs. Therefore, arthanam api iha grahanam. Indriya shabda grahanena. By the mentioning of the very word indriya, we have to bring in the indriya artha. Why? Because indriya artha also belong to the same category as that of the indriya. Indriya artha referring to the subtle elements which cause the indriya artha, and the subtle elements which cause the indriyas. Therefore, indriya, when we say indriya artha, that is the subtle elements you have to bring in here. Arthanam api iha grahanam. Therefore, indriyabhya param manaha is equal to, compared to the subtle elements which cause the indriya, the mind is greater. That is the subtle elements which cause the mind, it is greater. That is the meaning. This meaning can be understood only if you have understood that mantra in the first chapter. Next one. Purvavat anyat.
पूर्ववत् अन्यत्
That's all. Doesn't no description. Purvavat anyat means as stated before, as discussed before. Purvavat anyat. The rest are Purvavat, same as before. So yeah, that's why I explained that mantra again. Then one point here is mentioning here the word sattva is there. In that mantra, buddhi was mentioned. In this mantra, the word sattva is mentioned. Sattva shabdat
सत्त्वशब्दात्
buddhihi iga uchyate.
बुद्धिः इह उच्यते.
By the word sattva is, but this antakarnam is called sattva. Why? Because it is made of the samashti sattva guna of the panchamaha bhuta. So antakarnam. The antakarnam alone is called manas. It is alone is called the mind. But already manas talked about. So compared to the manas, when we say this buddhi is greater, therefore here the word manasaha sattvam uttamam, when there is comparison with the manas, therefore the word sattva should be taken as buddhi, because it does the job, better job, or it does the job which is greater than, which is better than, which is subtle than because subtle in terms of that conclusiveness, decisiveness. It is not physically, not in that physical sense, subtle. Subtle means in terms of the decisiveness. Both are subtle only. Therefore, there is no comparison in terms of subtlety. In terms of function only, we can say that sattva, that is the buddhi, is greater than the mind. Therefore, here the word sattva should be taken as buddhi. Therefore, here what the mantra says is indriyebhyaha, referring to the shotra, chakshu, vak adi karanebhyaha, this manaha, the sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha, param utkrishtam bhavati. Then manasaha sattvam, that is vyashti buddhi rupam, the individual buddhi uttamam. Then this sattvat, that is vyashti buddhyat, the mahanatma, that is samashti buddhi. Mahanatma is samashti buddhi. Because of the word mahan, it is taken as samashti. Otherwise, it is atma, which is mahan, that individual buddhi we can take. But here it is like, unlike in the previous mantra, compared to the individual buddhi, the total buddhi greater. That is not mentioned. Therefore, mahanatma here we should take it as samashti buddhi. Mahanatma should be taken as samashti buddhi. And compared to the samashti buddhi, buddhyaha, this avyaktam, this avyakritam, the maya is utkrishtam, uttamam, utkrishtam iti. In this mantra, that is the third chapter, manasastu para buddhihi, buddhehe atma, mahan paraha. Then mahataf paramavyaktam. Yes. Here also mahan atma is given. Here also it is mahan atma is given. Mahan atma Vashyakara says artaha sukshma mahantascha pratyagatmatmascha buddhi shabdavachya buddhehe atma sarva prani buddhinam pratyagatma bhutatvat mahan mahatvat sarva prani buddhinam pratyagatma bhutatvat atma mahan iti. So because of the word mahan, we can take it as the samashti buddhi. We can take it as the samashti buddhi. Compared to the individual buddhi, samashti buddhi is greater. Why samashti buddhi is greater? Individual buddhi has got limitation. It cannot be the sarvavit. Samashti buddhi is referring to the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is all knowledge. Sarvajnaha sarvavit. So therefore, samashti buddhi is greater. Individual buddhi, already sattva is talked about. That is why the word sattva is individual buddhi. Compared to the individual buddhi, mahanatma is mahancha aso atma. It is karmadaraya samasa. So atma which is greater. So atma here is referring to the buddhi, not Satchidananda atma. So the word atma is used in many places in different senses. Atma sometimes can refer to the body, sometimes can refer to the mind. So here atma is buddhi. Why it is taken as buddhi? Because it is qualified by the word mahan and comparing with the individual buddhi. Compared to the individual buddhi, this atma which is mahan is greater. So therefore, this atma, since it is mahan, it is greater, therefore it must be samashti. Also because of the following one, that's why we take the meaning of the mahan atma as samashti buddhi, because of the following. Following is magataha, that magataha referring to this mahan atma. Compared to this mahan atma, the samashti buddhi, Avyaktam is greater. Avyaktam is Maya. Maya is the Karanam for Hiranyagarbha. Maya is Samashti Karna Sharira Abhimani. Atma is Maya. And Hiranyagarbha is Samashti Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. So compared to this Sukshma Sharira Abhimani, that is referring to the, in terms of Upadhi. In terms of Upadhi, in terms of Hiranyagarbha Upadhi, Maya Upadhi is greater because Maya is the Karanam. That Annamaya Kosha, that is the total Annamaya Kosha, not the Veshti Annamaya Kosha. That Annamaya Kosha of the total is greater than the Vijnanamaya Kosha of the total. As Annamaya Kosha at the individual level is greater than the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Similarly, at the individual it is greater. Similarly, at the total level also. The Annamaya Kosha, that is the Maya, which is Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. That is the cause for Hiranyagarbha. So the cause is always greater. Hiranyagarbha is a Karya, it's a product. Hiranyagarbha is Sukshma. Maya is Karanam. Sukshma is greater or Karanam is greater. Sukshma Sharira is greater or Karana Shariram is greater. At both levels, that is Vyashti and Samashti level, always Karanam is greater. Without Karanam, the Karya cannot be there. Therefore, Avyaktam Uttamam Utkrishtam Bhavati. This Avyaktam Abhyagatam Maya is greater. And Maya is Mithya. Therefore, compared to Maya, which is greater in terms of that is available all the time and doesn't undergo any change, no vikara, and it is subtle and it is all pervasive. What is that? That is what is told in the next shloka. We will read. Avyaktatu parah purushah.
Avyaktātu parah purushah.
Vyapako linga eva cha.
Vyapako linga eva cha.
Yamnyatva muchyate jantuhu.
Yanyatva muchyate jantuhu.
Amrutatvam cha gacchati.
Amrutatvam cha gacchati.
Avyaktat Purushaha Paraha Bhavati. Avyaktat Purushaha Paraha. Purushaha referring to here, it is Atma. So the word for Atma here, it is Purusha. Atma. Purushaha Atma Utkrishtaha Bhavati. Avyaktat compared to Avyakta. Tu Shabda is used to show the Vailakshanyam, the difference, the distinction between Avyakta Maya and the Purusha. What is the distinction? Avyakta is Mithya, Purusha is Satya. Avyakta is Purushadhina. Maya is dependent on this Purusha, this Purushottama, this Brahma. That is the word, the two Shabda says, Vailakshanyam, to show the distinction, different. It is different. Then, Vyapakaha Alingaha. Vyapaka is all pervasive. All pervasive. All pervasive means that it is Sarvatra Purnaha. That alone is, Atma alone is. What is there is alone? Brahma, Atma eva. There is nothing other than Brahma. It doesn't have any limitation. That is why it is compared. That which is subtle must be all pervasive. That is why the comparison made from the Indriya to the Mana to Buddhi, the Buddhi to the Samashti Buddhi to Maya. Then Purusha, it is the subtlest. Anoraniya Navato Makiya. It is subtler than the subtlest, grosser than the grossest. It means it is cannot be described. It is everything, that which is the karanam of this jagat. Vyapakaha alingaha. Linga means attribute. Alingaha doesn't have any attributes. Alingaha evacha. That Purusha is alingaha, doesn't have attribute. It is not a Strilinga or Napumsakalinga or Pullinga. That linga, that is in terms of gender. Here it is not in terms of gender. We can take gender also, nothing wrong. We cannot say it is a particular gender because it is alingaha, above linga. That which is a cause of even that linga. Here alingaha doesn't have any attributes which not available for objectification. Alingaha evacha. Other things are at a relative level available for objectification because they are less subtle. It is the subtlest. There is nothing subtle other than this. That is why anoraniya. Therefore, it is alingaha iti. Yam nyatva, knowing this, what this purusham, this atmanam, the Brahma, nyatva muchyate. Muchyate, jantuhu. Jantuhu muchyate. Yam nyatva jantuhu muchyate. They become free. Amritatam chagachyati. Jantuhu muchyate. That is jivan mukti. Knowing this atma, the person becomes free. Iha atmanam nyatva muchyate, he becomes free. Atmanam viditva yaha asmat lokat preti saha brahmanaha. Yaha atmanam aviditva asmat loka preti saha kripanaha. So here jivan mukta is yamnyatma muchyate, becomes jivan mukta, becomes free. And after this fall of the body, amritattvam, he gains videga mukti. He continues to be free. It's called amritattvam. Doesn't have this marana janma. Samsara not there for him. Amritattvam chagachyati. While living is free, after maranam also is free. Doesn't assume shariram anymore. Let us read the Bhashyam. Avyaktatu
Avyaktatu
parah purushaha
Parapurushaha
vyapakaha
Vyapakaha
vyapakasya api
Vyapakasya api
akashadehe
Akashadehe
sarvasya karanatvat.
Sarvasya karanatvat.
So avyaktat. Avyaktat purushaha paraha. Purusha is superior, greater, utkrishtaha compared to the avyakta, that is unmanifest, that is maya. Avyakta is this avyakrita maya. And this purusha is vyapaka. It is vyapaka. Sarvasya karanatvat. Why it is called vyapaka? Because it is the karanam, the cause of everything. It is the karanam of everything. Vyapakasya api akashadehe. Akasha is said to be sarva vyapaka. There is no place where akasha is not there. So akasha, because akasha is the only thing we can imagine. We can imagine for this sarva vyapakatva. Vyapakasya api akashadehe. That which is the cause even for the vyapak, even for the akasha. Akasha is vyapaka. That which is vyapakasyapi. Vyapakasyapi akashadehe. Compared to the pervasiveness of the akasha, it is greater. It is vyapaka. It means vyapakasyapi, being all pervading. It is a cause of even of the akasha. Akasha is known for its all pervasiveness. So compared to that, or not comparison, here it is the pervasive. Vyapakasyapi akashadehe. It is a cause of even that akasha. Akasha is all pervasive. This is the cause of Akasha, means it must be all pervasive. So the all pervasiveness of Akasha, it is limited because that is understood by us in terms of our analysis, in terms of our this the Vyavahara. We understand that Akasha must be all pervasive. Space is also a product. It is a creator. Like any other object, space is also created. So we can imagine space. An object is there. Object must be located in space. It must be located in space, and there are different that there is a spatial differences are there. All these are available for our perception. Even though Akasha is all pervasive and it is available for our perception, still it is limited only. And this Purusha, which is the cause of this Akasha, how much all pervasive it must be. It means it is doesn't have any comparison. That which is the cause of this Akasha, which is all pervasive. That is the meaning. Sarvasya karanatvat vyapakasyapi akashadehe iti. Then, next line, alingaha.
Alingaha.
Lingyate gamyate yena tat lingam.
Lingyate gamyate yena tal lingam.
Buddhyadi
Buddhyadi
tad avidyamanasya iti.
tad avidyamanasya iti.
Saha ayam alingaha eva.
Saha ayam
alingaha eva.
Sarva samsara dharma varjitaha ityetat.
Sarva samsara dharma
etat.
Sarva samsara dharma varjitaha. Alingaha. Alingaha is, first he says what is linga. Then alinga. Lingyate gamyate yena iti tat lingam, tal lingam, torli. That which is linga is indicator. That by which something is known. That is called linga. That it's an indicator. That by which something is known. That is called linga. Alinga is that doesn't have any indicator. Say linga sharira. Linga sharira is sukshma sharira is called linga sharira. Atma here, we are talking about Atma here. It doesn't have any linga, doesn't have any indicator. Buddhyadi tat avidyamanasya api saha ayam alingaha eva. So, lingyate gamyate yena tat lingam. Nanch tat purusha is na lingam alingam. Then buddhyadi tat avidyamanasya. Atma doesn't have linga. Atma doesn't have linga. Here it means it doesn't have the any indicator. It doesn't have any attributes to indicate. Therefore only it is sarva samsara dharma varjitaha. Therefore only it is sarva samsara dharma varjitaha. Avidyamanam buddhyadi. Here giving for indicator some examples are given. Buddhyadi etc. Buddhi etc. Atma doesn't have buddhi. Buddhi is the part of this linga sharira, sukshma sharira. Sukshma sharira as saptadasha kalabhihi. Buddhi is one. So buddhyadi avidyamanam, buddhi, manas, etc., indriya, etc., avidyamanam, absent, avidyamanam, yasya, for whom, that it is not present in whom, saha eva alingaha, buddhi, etc., buddhi referring to this sukshma sharira. So sukshma sharira means we can bring other sharira also. It is free from all the sharira trayam. These are the linga. So absence of the Sharira Trayam, absence of Panchakosha, because Atma is distinct from them. Vitriktaha, therefore Atma is Alingaha. Atma is Vyapakaha, Sarva Vyapakaha. It is Alingaha. It is free from attributes. Attributes are available only for the Upadhi, Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharirani. They're all Upadhi. They're all Upadhi or Panchakosha. So they are all Upadhi. They are only the indicator of that which enjoys this Upadhi. Atma doesn't have any such thing, any indicator. Therefore, Alingaha. Therefore, you cannot arrive at Atma through this Upadhi, through the indicator of the Upadhi, because it doesn't have Upadhi, therefore there is no indicator. Therefore, Alingaha iti. So that by which something is known, that is called Linga. Alingaha referring to Avidyamanaha Lingaha Yasya. There is no Linga for that. For which? For this Atma, Purushaha. Therefore only Sarva Samsara Dharma Varjitaha. That which can be known to a particular linga, particular attribute, that is subject to samsara. Atma is Alingaha, it is Sarva Vyapaha, therefore it is free from Sarva Samsara Dharma. It is free from the qualities of all samsara. How do you know a thing is samsara? If it has these 6 properties or 6 things, 6 attributes, 6 linga, we can take 6 linga. Shrut-pipasa, Shokamoha, Jara and Mrityu. Shrut-pipasa is hunger and thirst, and Shoka and Moha. Shoka is sorrow, Moha is delusion. Then Jara, Mrityu, old age and death. That Vikara. These are called Shat Urmihi. Samsara Sagarasya Shat Urmihi. 6 waves of the Samsara Sagara. These are the indicator for samsara. Atma doesn't have this. Therefore, Sarva Samsara Varjitaha. Ashocyan Anvashochastvam. Atma doesn't have Shoka. So therefore, there is no samsara in Atma iti. Yam Nyatva Shastratascha Acharyataha Shastratascha Muchyate Jantuhu Avidyadi Hridaya Grantibhihi
Avidyadi Hridaya Grantibhi
Jivanneva
Jivanneva
Patitepi Sharire
Pratitepi Sharire
Amrtatvam cha gacchati.
Mritatvam cha gacchati.
Yam Nyatva Yam Atmanam Tat Purusham Brahma Nyatva Au Acharyataha Panchami Acharyataha Shastratascha, from the Shastram. So because Shastram is the only Pramanam and that has to be unfolded by the Acharya, therefore to be known from the Acharya and the Shastram. Therefore, Nyatva, having understood this Atma from the Shastram and the Acharya, Muchyate, Jantuhu Muchyate, become free from what? Avidyadi Hridaya Grantibhihi, from the Avidya, from the knots of the Avidya. Vidya Kama Karma, that Punya Papa, etc. These are the knots which bind a jiva, jivatma. Therefore, the jivatma is released. It's released from avidya granthi. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante chinna samshayaha. This is Kathopanishad. That hridaya granthi, the knots of the heart, hridaya granthibihi, muchyate, becomes free. Becomes free from this avidya. Therefore, free from samsara. So, Jivaneva, The Jivaneva, while living itself, become free. That is Jivan Mukti. While living itself, Jivaneva becomes free from this avidya granthi. Granthi is a knot. Hridaya granthi. It is Hridaya means the knot of the heart. That is this abhimana, mamatva abhimana, that ahanta buddhihi, mamata buddhihi. That all these are the because all these are because of the avidya. Therefore, avidya, which is moola karnam, that is snapped. Therefore, this person out of jnanam becomes free while living. Patite api. Patite means this sharira. Sharire patite api. Even after the fall of this sharira. Sharire patite. Sati Saptami. This is an example for Sati Saptami. Sharire patite sati. When the body falls, amritatvam cha gacchati. He attains amritatvam. He attains amritatvam, that is ego. Doesn't go anywhere. He becomes immortal. Atma doesn't have maranam, so he is one with Atma. Therefore, he continues to be free as Atma is free. Saha alingaha.
Saha alingaha.
Paraha.
Paraha.
Avyaktat purushaha iti.
Avyaktat purushaha iti.
Purvena sambandaha.
Purvena sambandaha.
So, yam jnatva muchyate iti said in the previous sentence. Saha purushaha alingaha. Saha purushaha alingaha paraha avyaktat iti purvena sambandaha. The alingaha, the indicate that doesn't have indication. That Atma, it is paraha, greater than the avyaktat, that is Maya, unmanifest. So, knowing that which is greater than the avyakta Maya, one becomes free. Iti purvena samdaha. This is how to be connected to the purva, the earlier part of the text, the mantra. So, iti purvena samdaha. Saha atma purushaha alingaha. It is paraha. It is avyaktat. It is avyaktat. It is this atma is greater. Iti, to be connected with the previous line of the text. That is the mantra. In the mantra, we have to connect like that. Purvena sambandaha. Yam jnatva muchyate. Yam jnatva, that jnatva, what purusha? The purusha which is greater than this avyaktamaya, tam jnatva purushaha muchyate. Jivaneva muchyate. Maranantaramapi amritatvam gacchati. Iti. We'll stop here. The next mantra we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.